Welcome to the Hot Mess Cosmic Express, where we talk about the stars, shuffle a few cards, and never pretend to have our shit together.
Yep.
So welcome everybody to the first episode of the Hot Mess Cosmic Express. I am your co-commander, Darcy Britt.
I am your other co-commander, Tracy Gardner.
And we are so happy you guys are on board with us today. We have really been working hard behind the scenes to put together some really great content for you guys over the next couple of weeks and months and years. But before we really jump into all that and what you guys can really expect from us, Tracy and I thought, since this is kind of our first kickoff, and we've had, a couple of interactions with folks already, that we probably should maybe formally introduce ourselves and let you guys know just exactly what idiots you have put behind the wheel of your express.
Who's driving?
Yeah, who's driving? Listen, I know I think I'm a pretty damn good driver. I really do. But I will admit, life has been a total shit show lately, so I really just don't know if I'm qualified, but I'm going to try it, and everybody seems to be down with it. Just to kick things off, Tracy, do you want to kick things off? Do you want to introduce yourself to everybody first?
Well, like I said, my name is Tracy Gardner. I have interest in astrology, numerology, human design. So those are probably some topics you'll hear me talk about. What about you, Darcy?
Well, I am a professional tarot reader, so I've been reading tarot, I think probably about 5 years now. I've always kind of dabbled, but so I've been reading professionally in a store for about 5 years. And then I dabble in astrology. Oh my God, I love it so much. But when I actually kicked off my interest in astrology, I focused on the moon. So I'm also a certified moonologer. I'm a Virgo, so we're going to have certifications out the wazoo. But which basically means that I'm certified to kind of go around and help people understand how to use the moon and where it is on their birth chart in comparison with where it is today to set achievable goals and get shit done in their life. And so that's I can't be busy.
I was going to say, an interesting thing I think we should let our listeners know is that we're both Virgos.
Yes, we are both Virgos.
We're both Sagittarius risings.
Yeah. You want to talk about that Virgo thing? Hang on, back it up for just a minute, because this is going to be a really good lesson for everybody, that you are more than just your sun sign. And because we're both Sagittarius rising, we are more than both of that, or whatever, I'm trying to say.
But there is so much more than just your sun sign and your rising sign. And there's so many pieces to astrology, and we will help you figure it all out on future episodes. But that's kind of like what we want to do, is help people learn in a fun way.
Well, you know what? And it's interesting you say about helping people learn, because I don't know who's out there in podcast land that's listening, but this is not the first time that you and I have ventured into podcast land to try to help people learn how to do things. Now, is it?
No, technically it's our third.
I don't think we ever did anything
about the second.
Yeah, the second one was more of okay, hang on, we'll have to let everybody know how this all came about, right? So I'll talk a little bit about Awaken the Authentic You, if that's okay. And then I'll let you explain how this all came about, because that's where our number two comes into play, Tracy. Anyway, so Awaken the Authentic You was a podcast that we had back from, I think, late 2023 into early 2025 with dear friend of the show, Miss Danita Bishop. So
shout out to Danita.
Yeah, she's super near and dear to our hearts. And on that particular show, we really focused on, and the whole premise, it was Awaken the Authentic You. So it was all about spiritual awakening. And honestly, it was my brainchild to try to get just out there, because I have this really weird drive, and I'm sure it's somewhere in my chart. We're going to figure it out. But I have this very weird, insatiable desire and drive to spread the word about stuff and help people live better lives. I think I probably was a total fuck head in my previous life, and I am just really paying for it. Maybe it's like a spin instructor or something.
I think it's your Leo in your ninth house, but we'll get into that later.
Well, so that's what I was going to talk about with the Virgo thing, is that I am an early Virgo. So my birthday is on August the 23rd. And Tracy, your birthday is September the 18th, right?
Yep.
So you are farther back in the Virgo. So now we'll talk about cusps later, right? Because I am going to be 100% hand on heart. Will say that until 5 years ago, I would tell people, oh, I was born on the cusp. I'm not really sure. Sometimes I'm a Leo. Sometimes I'm a Virgo. Once I learned that that's all BS and that you have to really embrace your sun sign, and I really dug into it and found that I am indeed 33 feet. Keep in mind, in each sign on your chart, there's 30 degrees, isn't it? No, 29 degrees, 59 feet. 29
right.
degrees, 59 feet. Yeah, 29 degrees, 59 feet. So out of that whole thing, my sun is like this.
You have like
feet into Virgo. So that being said, even though I'm a Virgo, and I am, because I believe, you can't, and that changed a lot for me once I really said, instead of, you can't embrace who you really are if you can't even get down to your freaking sun sign, right? So I'm like, all right, Darcy, smacking myself around, pick it, you are a Virgo. But once I did that and started embracing all that Virgo qualities, like things just totally changed. It was insane. And I think that's really when I started realizing like astrology, like changed my life. But anyway, back to all of that. I know we were talking about awaken the authentic you. We really just wanted to focus more on, as we got into it, it wasn't so much the spiritual awakening. I'm not a psychic. I tell people all the time, if I was a psychic, I would not be on my second marriage or live in Whiteland, Indiana. Okay. I would be someplace in Key West. Right. And so now I have psychic, and I'm tarot reader. There's a huge element of psychic in that. But when you tell people you're psychic, they immediately have a notion of those things, right? Yeah. And so, as we just started looking into it, I start diving deeper, trying to figure out awakening the authentic me. It was like, all right, this isn't really what I'm wanting. And I think I'm drawn more towards the moon, and astrology is rocking my world. And of course, I love tarot. I have some amazing tarot clients, and love helping them learn how to do it. And we'll talk more about that on other episodes. But then shortly before the beginning of 2025, Tracy came on board with Awaken the Authentic You, because I had been manifesting and asking for someone to, hang on. Oh, I thought I still had it up here. It must be still by my bed, but I'm ready to receive what is needed to help me reach my goal. And like I said, I've been saying that and saying that and saying that. And my goal is, for some reason, to help people and to know that I help people, right, through what I'm trying to teach, which who the fuck knows what that's all about. And so thank the dear Lord, Tracy shows up, and it was perfect timing. And she and Danita and I had a really great time on Awaken the Authentic You. It was absolutely awesome. Danita had to go and take care of a few things. I mean, this is a Hot Mess Cosmic Express for a reason. We talk about it because we are and we'll talk about what to expect from us.
It'll be a hot mess. That's what's
a hot mess, right? Like, we know we're supposed to record and we're supposed to do this, but to be honest, there's some days I work a big girl job in an hour and a half away, and my big girl job is draining. And sometimes by the time I get home, I'm texting Tracy. I'm like, nope, I can't do it. I can't do it tonight. So, but anyway, we totally respect that. And you will probably, I'd imagine, hear from Danita, because we do really love her a lot. She's got some great stuff to share. So we might have her special guest a little bit. But once she kind of realized that her journey was going to pull her in a different direction, Tracy and I kind of started thinking, well, maybe we take this show on the road and go do something else. And so we kind of walked away from Awaken the Authentic You, which I think you can still find. I believe it is still an active show out there in the podcast land. But so then that all happened in February, I think. And since then, Tracy,
February, something like that. Yeah.
Was it? Okay. That's what I thought. It's been a minute. I know. Yeah, I think it was, late January, early February. And so we've just been working behind the scenes and trying to figure out what this was all going to look like. And so what Tracy was referring to as number 2 was, which actually is funny because we shit canned it. That's really funny. I just realized that. I'm totally chanting. Oh my God, that's so funny. But we thought, well, what are we going to come up with? And so we kicked it off with like the Darcy and Tracy show, right? So,
but then that sounded like a newscast or like a talk show, and it sounded like we were going to be interviewing people, and it
right,
just
like
didn't fit the vibe we were going for. So we were really struggling. Like, what if that was February? Then like it took us until like what, April, May before we were like, okay, this isn't working either. This isn't us either. And we have
right.
to do something to change it. And that's when, or was it June? It may have
No,
even been
no,
June.
literally, Tracy, this was last week.
That's right.
It was okay. So just take a deep breath.
That's
Girl,
right.
we launched big time. This was last week. This was one of seven. Look, there goes the hair on my hair is
We've
standing
been
up on my
doing
arms.
this.
You're just like, man, you're like in May and April and May. And I'm like, April and May. I'm like, I'm pretty sure when I thought about that, because I had to do the timeline, and I'm like,
Yes,
I
actually,
accidentally,
you are right,
I,
because I had it written down, because of course I'm a Virgo, that as of June 25th, we were still the Darcy and Tracy show.
yes,
And then July 1st is when we were like, this ain't
yeah,
working.
yeah,
So yeah, just a couple weeks ago that we
yeah. So
decided,
17 days ago, yeah. But that's what's weird is it seems so, and just so everybody knows, that's where you may see changes here and there, because Tracy and I are big believers that if we have to push too hard, that's not it, right? And that's when we realized Awaken the Authentic You. We were trying to do a whole thing on like the 3 R's or something of witchcraft, and while we're both, I'm out of the closet. I'm a practicing witch.
yeah,
I
the
just
three
didn't, it
laws.
wasn't what I wanted to do a podcast about. And it took us
Right.
it was like 5 weeks where we were just missing each other, or things weren't working out technology wise. And so finally it was like, Tracy, actually, you were the one I think that brought that up and said, this is too hard. We shouldn't have to force it. And so that's when we did the Darcy and Tracy show. And then we spent
Same thing, because it took us like 3 months.
How many months? We've been doing this since February. Yes. Well, but we were doing like graphic designs. And then we've had, like I said, it's not like we've done this we've sat down a lot of Tuesdays prepping for all this. And we just we were going to do a segment called Hot Mess with something. And I just could not get Hot Mess Cosmic Express out of my head. And I was so scared to say anything to you about it, just because it was the Darcy and Tracy show, and we'd put so much fucking work into it. I mean, we had graphics done in Canva.
Of changing everything, like graphics and stuff, and she's like, okay, I gotta tell you something.
And that's, I guess, so everybody understands. So we're Virgos. So when it comes to, when you change one thing, you have to change it all, because it has to be right. And so when we were like, oh, we'll do the Darcy and Tracy show. Well, then we just we got stuck in this email hell where we had double account. It was crazy.
Yes,
So
we had some technical difficulties that we were trying to overcome with switching over from Authentic You to the Darcy and Tracy show. We had just got all that taken care of.
Yep. And I kept thinking, and I thought, man, I kept thinking, and what was really weird is I sat down, and this is just so people understand what we're talking about. And I guess I wish I would learn this more often, right? That this is how easy it should be, because I fight things a lot and end up getting super pissed. But literally, you and I, we talk at 7:30 on Tuesday nights, and it was maybe 6:30, 6:45, and I thought, fuck it, I'm going to get into Canva and hurry up and put together this Hot Mess Cosmic Express logo. I know she already likes this audio, and I'm just going to play it and see what she says, because never before had I been able to, and I literally put that thing together in less than 20 minutes.
Freaking awesome.
It never works like that. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, and then I swear, hand on my heart, I did not mean to create this group. The group on Facebook, you and I were talking about it 2 weeks ago, and we made a promise that we would wait 48 hours before we really made a decision, because we didn't want to go through identity crisis and change everything again. But while we said we'd wait for 48 hours, I had already created the Facebook group.
And I texted her I thought we were going to wait.
You were like, I thought we were waiting 48 hours. I'm so sorry. And I woke up the next morning, we had 30 some members. And I'm like, oh no, I didn't mean to do that. And that's when, and then all of a sudden now, I mean, this is our first episode and this, but as of tonight and us recording, we're up to we're up to 78 members, and people are really, I think, learning because we're sharing stuff about, birth charts, like, and that's one thing. And I can't believe, honestly, how I'm going to start calling myself an astroholic because so you can't even see this, but the necklace that I'm wearing is the stars. Oh, that says to my sexy ass wife. This is what the sky looked like when Kenny and I got married in Vegas 15 years ago.
Oh, that's cool. I've seen those. I want to get picture frames.
Yes.
To put on my wall in my Zen room when I finally get moved over there.
That would be beautiful. Oh, see, and that's what he was a little bummed because it's on a necklace, and it's really, you can't really see, but it really is very busy. And I think he thought it wouldn't be so much. He thought it was too much. And I didn't used to wear like bigger necklace, but I love it. And then on the back,
really cute.
I do love it. It needs polished badly. I've got to get my polishing thing out, but I think I'm an astroholic. I really, really do. And so yeah. And
we're not changing it to the astroholics.
No, we're not. No, but just in case anybody wonders, I did create, and I'm back talking about our Facebook group. I did create, I think it's an album that's Confessions of an Astroholic, because I thought, you know what? I'm sure we've got some people that have the same problems that we have, where it's like, all right, I know I'm a Virgo. I actually realized the other day, I don't know why, but I color coded all of my clothes hangers in my laundry room. What the fuck? Who does that? My house is a mess, but my clothes hangers, and I color coded them from felt to plastic. So those are the kinds of confessions. Yes. So no, but we're not changing it, but we do have a little spot on our.
I like that. I like the Confessions of an Astroholic, because I definitely am. I mean, not to get too far into our birth charts, because we'll cover that in another episode. But once I started looking into my chart, my birth chart, and then we'll talk more about human design as things go on. But once I started looking into both of those is when I started understanding myself, is why I do the weird things I do.
Yes.
Because of my Gemini moon, or because I'm a Sagittarius rising, or so it can help people really understand who they are and why you are the way you are. Your little quirks aren't weird, they're you.
Bingo.
It's in the stars. It's literally, it's in the stars.
And it's the same for the people that you're in relationships with, those other people. Mm-hmm. You can't change it.
It helps you understand.
And this is why. Yes. Oh my gosh. And we're going to get into all that, because I'm telling you what.
My husband's chart, you've seen how much Taurus he has in his chart. And it makes so much sense.
Same here. My husband is Taurus rising, Taurus sun. It's, oh my Lord.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
And so it helps you understand people. And so we will be your co-commanders.
That's right.
Through that trip.
Was it like we're going to have to come up. I'm going to have way too much fucking fun with coming up with all kinds of fun names, like through this galactic shit show or something. I'm just going to have fun with it. But that being said, we'll stick with the Cosmic Express. Your boarding pass gang is your birth chart. So Tracy and I are going to talk a lot about. We're going to talk a lot about your primary three. Some people call them your primary triad, I think, but that is your sun sign, which we can get based on the day you were born. We can get your moon sign based on the day and the place.
Yes,
and then if you also know the time, then we get you your third one, and that's your rising sign. And I'm not going to explain to everybody what that means right now, but that's the primary three that we talk about a lot. And that's how you know the houses on your chart. So we'll talk a lot about, this planet, find the house on your chart. You have to know your rising sign if you want to know that the house is on your chart. There's some ways around it if you don't, but if you really want to follow along and, come along for the ride, having that's going to be really, really helpful. So if anybody's requesting them, you guys can find our group. We have a group on Facebook for the Hot Mess Cosmic Express. You can head on over there and join, and then you can shoot Tracy and I a message. Give us a couple of days. Just as the name suggests, we're running around like crazy. I don't know.
We are in Hot Mess.
I don't know if I told you or not, Tracy, but I found out last week that grandbaby number 10 is coming in January.
You did.
What?
You sent me a text.
Did I say, I sent you, was it a what the fuck text? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So it was the sonogram.
Yes, there we go. So, and I do say that because I think as of us recording this, I owe 4 people birth charts, and I'm truly sorry. Sagittarius, I'll be honest, and you're going to figure out how I self-help it, but Sagittarius rising, I do tend to be a little full of hot air. And by hot air, that means I can tend to make false promises or false, not on purpose. And I do it to myself too. I'm going to do 1,000 things and I don't end up doing it. But I do tend to tell people, oh, I'll get you that on this day. And then I don't. And I tell you what, it's an internal struggle because the Virgo in me is just sucker punching that Sagittarius. Like, what the fuck?
Because the Virgo wants to do it and the Sagittarius is like.
Virgo is disciplined. It is crazy, the internal struggle. So, but so that's, a lot of what people can expect. And what led to your point, or to what we were talking about, get your birth chart. And we do use, we'll talk more about it, but we do use whole house signs, and we'll talk more about that one on another episode. So, so y'all can expect a whole lot of astrology. I'll be honest, when we first started all this, I really thought we were going to focus more on like just the moon and tarot is where I was going to focus my house. Shit, I can't get enough of this astrology. It is rocking the only reason it's rocking my world is because like this whole Uranus and Gemini thing on the day, get this. I don't even know if I should talk about it because you know what happened earlier this week, Saturn in retrograde in Aries. Saturn's a planet of karma. Retrogrades are all about redoing things and going back and relearning lessons and things like that. We found more black mold in my basement that was supposed to be removed after our house was after the basement was destroyed by the tornado 2.5 years ago. I came home tonight and everybody's freaking out. There's black mold all over the fucking basement, all over the basement. I'm going to have to pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars because grandbaby number 9 is supposed to move in there in 2 months. And they've been down there. My son's been learning drywall and he's doing bang up job. Because the whole thing was destroyed but I get it that it was during a natural disaster and we were not the only ones, but the place that did it, I swear I wish I could fucking sue them. But yeah, so I came home tonight and so now I have to have a local mold and restoration company come out tomorrow to talk to me about the hot mess that we have. So anyway, if you request a birth chart, give us a break and just give us a little bit of time. So, what else? Oh, that being said, so as far as like the Facebook group goes, can I say something? Because I think the Facebook group is going to be really, really awesome that we have. We've got lots of engagement and I want to share stuff all the time, but I suck. And when I say I suck, I would have to say again, I'm a self-help junkie. It is so bad. I self-analyze everything. I'm like a seagull, right? So I'm going to like fly into the group. I'm going to post a bunch of shit and then I'm going to fly away. And then I won't be back for like a couple of days. So, not on purpose. I think it's that Sagittarius rising thing. Like I want to get on there and post stuff and then I just forget to go back and check it. And then I feel like a schmo because I've let people down and haven't responded to comments. So please know that I will see things eventually. If you're waiting on something from me, Tracy will always chime in, but I'm really bad about it. I really am. I'm going to admit I'm terrible about it. I love to put stuff out there, but I suck at follow up. There you go. How's that, Freud? So you can expect a lot of that stuff too, right, Tracy?
It's okay. I'll be in there.
And as far as like posting and things like that and podcasts, obviously we'll engage with the group, but have we committed to like a weekly, trying to get something out there weekly? I can't remember. We've had so much fun doing this. It's been so fast.
I don't think we've committed to anything ever. So
no, and you know what? I think it's best we keep it that way. Just because, it is a hot mess and we'll get on here and post podcasts when we can, but the group's going to be engaging.
Right.
Honestly, the new moon in Cancer,
get most of the engagement from us. I would definitely join the group. That's where the podcast is going to be like the bonus.
Yeah, that's like where the fun stuff happens.
So if you have questions, you can put them in the group. If you want us to cover something on one of the podcasts, you can put it in the group. So the podcast will pretty much where we can go more in depth.
And then y'all can ask questions in the group.
Yeah.
Right? Well, and I also thought, so the full moon, the new moon in Leo is next Thursday. So depending on when this goes out and everything like that, I think I might like to go go live with the group.
Ooh,
I know. I thought, you know what? Wouldn't it just be fun? Because we've got some super big engagement over there. And people are, I mean, I'm not joking. I'm a Virgo.
Like a new moon ritual type of thing.
I don't know. I'm kind of really bad about the ritual thing. I would be more.
But I mean, like it doesn't have to be like a big thing. We could just get on live and talk about like what you can do for rituals.
Oh yeah, and I've got you know what? I've got a crystal grid up here. You play with crystals, right? Because I know crystals.
That's who I play.
Well, I knew that crystals were something, we talk about tarot, astrology, and human design and the moon and stuff. I mean, crystals to me is kind of a part of it, but I do have a new moon crystal grid, and I could do like a new moon tarot spread too.
Yeah. We could just get on live and whatever.
We just get on live and just see who shows up. Maybe, hopefully, we'll try to get this published so people will know it's going to happen, but we'll just see who shows up. If not, it's just going to be me and Tracy doing this and talking about shit.
Yeah.
That's
we'll just get on.
That's what we do.
If nothing else, it'll be like the podcast without the podcast.
Bingo, exactly. You just get to see that it's all live, right? Because trust me, you'll see that we have animals that show up. We have husbands that pop in unexpectedly. It is just, that's why it's a hot mess. And I'm so fucking happy we're doing this. I really, really am. We
have so much fun. We enjoy it so much.
We really do. We do. And so I'm looking at my thing because I had to keep a list because I do tend to lose track, right? So I did keep a list. I wrote here, technology, please be kind. Be kind to us, folks. Please be nice. Hang on, I should do it like we're doing. If you please grab your in-flight safety card and open that up to the inside, you'll see where we've said, please be kind to your co-commanders, right? We could edit. We both did radio in high school. We could edit the shit out of a podcast and create graphics that will blow your mind. But I can, oh my God, I love doing all that stuff. We have bigger things to do. We've decided that we've just got to get this out there. So
right.
It will
be raw.
Right. I'm going to cuss like a sailor. I'm going to hit my vape. I'm going to actually open a Mountain Dew while Tracy's talking because I'm really thirsty.
Yes.
So hang on.
You will probably hear the word fuck about 30 times.
That's my favorite word. As a matter of fact, my grandkids know that that's my favorite word. They don't say it, but somebody will say something and one of them will go, that's your favorite word, Nani? I'm like, damn right it is. I can't be like fucking A it is. I should. I'm going to be that crazy old lady. But anyway, so we talked about tech. Please be kind, right? So please no haters. Yeah, come on, man. I'm going to show up in a moo-moo one day. It's going to be fun. Engagement. Please remember that your co-commander, I suck. Tracy's very good at engagement, boys and girls. Darcy, not so much. Love to put it out there, not so good. Charts. Charts
are our thing.
Yeah, it really is. That's why I said when we first started this all out, I thought I was going to be tarot this and let me teach you how to do tarot, which I'm totally fine with.
It's much fun.
Look at this awesome case I found at the Goodwill for my oracle cards. They're it's like an old radio case. It's like pure hide leather, and I've got my oracle. But anyway, I thought that I would be all into that, and I'll be honest, all I can think about like all day today is like astrology. Where's this? I am so astroholicing it out. It's nuts, and so I'm just excited. So that's in a nutshell what folks can expect.
Did you hear me call you squirrel when you said nutshell?
No, but that's so fitting. Oh my God.
I said, because you were talking about the chart, then all of a sudden you hold up this little purse and you're like, oracle cards. And I'm like, Darcy, all you have to do is yell squirrel. And then you come back with nutshell.
And then I'm right. See, maybe it was subliminal. Yeah, it's
that's what you can expect. That is what you can expect.
That's it's and I need this. Honestly, this is more like therapy for me. What I do in my day job is I love my job, but it is so mental. And I sometimes am just like, oh my God, I can't put things together. I'm like going cross-eyed. I literally was in a meeting today sitting there going, I'm going cross-eyed. I can't put all these things together anymore. Like anyway, so I love it because it's like my therapy. And then it helps me get through the day because I can be like, you Saturn and Aries, mother retro. Mercury's in retrograde, so I can blame stuff on. It gives me something to blame stuff on so that I can get through my day. So,
no, I agree.
Trying to think of what else.
Did you get through your little list?
I did. That was my list because after that it was just astrology and moons. And so you can tell there was a lot there. Charts, astrology and moons. So lots of astrology. I think one thing we've kind of toyed with too, and we'll play with it, but just, basically helping everybody out. So if we're posting things and you have questions, just let us know. But, weekly astrological updates, and, Tracy's been doing astrology a lot longer than I have. So, and if there's definitely something out there that you guys want to see more of, let us know. If you prefer tarot once a week, or you don't want any tarot, you just want to focus on astrology, or you want us to do on-air birth charts, or whatever it is you guys are interested in. I mean, we're kind of open for it. We're just super, super excited to be here and to share and to show you guys how it's like, holy shit, it's real. It's really real. So it's pretty awesome. What else? I guess I should ask everybody, share, right? We're not famous yet because y'all ain't sharing our shit. So share.
This is the first episode.
On. Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. That's the Leo. See, that's that little bit of Leo tendency in me. I'm like, somebody share my shit.
Sharing. It's like
there's one of those like, why aren't you famous? It's like, because you ain't sharing my shit. All right. So like I said, giveaways, share our stuff, ask us questions. We are really just here to kind of, help you guys learn what we're learning along the way and learn from everybody else too. So
yeah, right. We are not perfect. We're going to make mistakes.
What is our tagline? We will never pretend to have our shit together. Ever.
That is true.
Ever.
Never.
Ever. I may even stop. Okay, it will be really hard to get me to stop using Grammarly on my phone keyboard. Sometimes it pisses me off. But, maybe I'm just not even going to worry about checking my grammar for like a whole day.
You're a Virgo. That's not going to happen.
It won't happen. I did not see my typo that I actually read the back of the bobby pin container the other day and found a typo on the back of the thing where, the bobby pins all stick in like this. The whole freaking word. I'm a Virgo. I can't not have good grammar.
Well, and when you posted it, I read it and I knew instantly what it was, but I kept rereading it because I'm like, I want to make sure that I.
Well, that's what I did too. Because I thought surely Goody caught this. Maybe they had to pay by the letter. I don't know. But I just, they do say that the human brain just reads, right? So you a lot of times you don't read all the words. I love that stuff. So maybe they had some analysis come in and said we can save X amount of thousands of dollars if we leave off that word, and it's only going to drive this small little set of people crazy and save us lots of money. That's what they did. Because I tell you what, I should have said it to them. So what else? So we talked about Awaken the Authentic You. We did shout out to Danita, right? And like I said, you guys will see and hear lots more from her, I'm sure.
We talked about the brief Darcy and Tracy show.
We did. We talked about our number 2 and how it did get shit canned. It really did. And that really leads everybody to understand the way we do things is if it's not working, we're not going to push it.
And that's the human design part, because we're both manifesting generators too.
Bingo.
And just a brief thing about human design, manifesting generators are meant to do things that light them up. And once it no longer lights them up, they need to move on. So that's what happened with Awaken the Authentic You. Stop lighting us up.
Yeah.
Had to move on. Darcy and Tracy show wasn't lighting us up. So we had to move on. So Hot Mess Cosmic Express, we are loving it.
Well, and that's the thing too, I guess, to assure everybody, we are here to stay. It's not like we have identity. We're not like identity crisis.
No, we were just having trouble finding who we were.
We were. And, and I don't know. That's what's just so crazy. I mean, I'm already ordering t-shirts with the Hot Mess Cosmic Express. I love it so fucking much. I want a mouse pad just because it explains my life. I mean, it literally.
It does fit really well.
It's not like, I love Blame It on My Gypsy Soul, but it's more than that. I mean, it is really, and I'm all about the cat. I mean, my cat, here's how crazy it is. My cat's name is Cosmo. Now, that is not on purpose. That's because we were watching Seinfeld. but literally, and he has an A on the side of his head. So I've always called him Cosmo the Astro Kitty. Always. He's 2.5, right? So all of this stuff just lines up, and when it's just flowing, and we're here to stay. We're amazed
that it's coming together. I mean, like we said, we switched July 1st. So within the last 2 weeks, we've done all of this to get everything together for it, whereas it was taking us months just to get signed in to YouTube.
Oh my gosh, because sometimes spend 3 hours. I remember the last call we had before I thought I still had that one piece of paper where it said the hot mess, something about hot mess catch up. But anyway, I remember putting my head in my hands and getting so frustrated, and I was like, Tracy, I just want to be able to record, because like I said,
yes,
we're going to talk more about what my chart looks like. You've hinted at, I've got something I got to share with the world. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I'm going to explode if I don't. And I was just so frustrated, and it was just, that shouldn't flow like that. And then it was just like, and it was almost like the universe was like, okay, then ping.
And we had to go through all of that to find that this is.
We did, because think about it. We had to figure out what we were really wanting to share. And we were struggling, and we couldn't get the graphics to be, and it was all, and then all of a sudden it was like, and then
isn't that what you do when you struggle? You know, like, since Saturn is in Aries, Saturn is, learning, about revisiting the past, going through, learning from your mistakes,
karma,
growing. So isn't that what you do? Is that you have to do things so you can figure out that they're not right for you, and then you learn from that and pivot to something else. And that's what we did. We pivoted.
Now, how crazy is it that we're recording this episode 4 days after Saturn went in retrograde in Aries, and Mercury retrograde starts tomorrow?
Yeah.
Right? Saturn in Aries, and going backwards, a chance to redo things, a chance to rethink, a chance to relaunch. How amazing. I just love it. And then we're doing it today. What the heck? It just blows my mind.
We were talking about, like, where in the group we were talking about, like, asking everybody where Saturn was in their house.
Yeah.
And because we're Sagittarius risings, Saturn's in the same spot in our charts. Right. So it was 8th house, which was talking about where was I going with talking about
in the group, in the chat.
It was because when you look at transits, there's 2 parts, and I'm getting a little too much in here, but I do have a point.
So there's 2 big, yes.
You're talking about transits. And the first is that you want to know what sign the transit's in. So it's Aries. And our chart, Aries, is in our 5th house, which is creativity, passion, play, childhood,
kids.
So you got that. The second part of it is where the actual planet is in your chart, which is the 8th house, which is karmic lessons. So when I was helping somebody in the group who's also a Sagittarius rising, it was actually Donita.
We said she'd show up. There she is.
So, and it was talking about how, like, that this is the time to one, be bold, to not afraid to be seen. So hello, we're being seen. We're on video.
Hello.
And to do something that is creative and not be afraid to show our creativity. And it was like, this is perfect. It's laying out perfectly with what's going on in the sky, what we're doing.
That is
putting
insane.
Ourselves out here.
That is insane.
I think the thing said, don't be afraid to shine. Don't be afraid to do something you love. And see, we are.
And to step out of your comfort zone.
Yes.
And so for me, just to go a little, this is how I astraholic it. My Saturn on my chart in my 8th house, it is at 2 degrees of Cancer, is conjunct smack dab on top of my moon.
Yes.
So that means that, so this is all lining up perfectly, because it increases, it's all about big, giant changes and not being afraid to share all of that. That's my true emotions, right? To just get out there and show my true authentic self. So because I'm like a hard shell, right? I'm like a fiery Sagittarius rising. Everybody thinks I'm this bubbly thing. And then I'm this really critical, boring ass Virgo at home that really just putts around, plays with her pawn, and talks to her cat, and is not a whole lot of fun. And then, but then I'm a Cancer moon, which means I am so fucking insecure. People would not believe how shy I am. I mean, I say it all the time, and people just don't get it. So it's very,
See, that is what's so awesome about astrology is that every person has all 12 signs.
yeah.
So you're going to have it. Just where's that house? How does it affect you? Like your Cancer.
Yeah. Well,
does
it's something else. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's what I was just. We all have all 12 signs, but it's
We do.
learning about how that sign affects you and how the planets affect you, and
Based on where it is in your
can be
chart.
so eye-opening to see. It helps you relate to the world and other people
Yeah.
and understand what's going on, and it can help you maybe like, okay, you learn to deal with stuff differently because now you know.
Saturn, Uranus and Gemini. It's talking, teaching us to go back and how we think about how we reapproach our communications. And for me and you, it's in our 7th house, or at least Uranus was for me. Gemini is for me. So it's in my 7th house, and it has to, and all sure as shit, it's really, really amazing. And once you start to look at it, and another thing we'll need to make sure we touch on is what it means when there's no planets in a house.
Right.
You still have all 12 signs. You still have all 12 equal 30-degree houses on your chart, but there is a meaning behind whether there's a planet there or whether there's not. So we'll have to talk about that on a future episode, what it means, because I know I questioned that, and you helped me understand what that means and how it really can, and it blew my mind. So we'll have to make sure we talk about that too. So
Definitely.
lots of stuff to come, right? I know
Right.
we're going to try to pop in. We'll obviously share like weekly, not weekly, but if there's something big coming up, I'll always share about the moon. We'll share if there's retrogrades and things coming up, and just ask everybody to ask as many questions as you can and give us feedback as we go. We just want to give you guys what's going to help you guys the most, and us in the same process.
That sounds like a good place to wrap up.
I think so. So we'll sign off from the Hot Mess Cosmic Express Command Center. I'm Darcy Britt.
I'm Tracy Gardner. You guys have a good night.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Welcome to the Hot Mess Cosmic Express, where we talk about the stars, shuffle a few cards, and never pretend to have our shit together.